Sam Taylor Johnson's Amy Winehouse biopic was released on the 17th of May. As predicted from the trailer, it was terrible. And if you saw the trailer and thought this was bad, you just watched Apocalypse Now compared to this film. The script, like with most films of the last 20 years, is complete tripe. Void of charisma, Marisa Abela sleepwalks through her performance as Amy. Jack O'Connell, who played Blake, is a good actor in fairness, but look what he had to work with. Let's get straight into it. Oh, and on a side note, this is just my opinion, and it is easy to be a critic.
Jay, you weren't meant to create, you were meant to tear apart!
I was?
You were born to nitpick what others poured their hearts and souls into.
The film opens with Amy running in slow motion to a voiceover monologue of her stating she wants to be remembered as a singer, which straight away is not true, as when asked in 2007, she stated she wanted to be remembered as an honest person. After that, we skip to a scene with a young Amy reminiscing about her expulsion from drama school at her nan's house. It's not as interesting as it sounds though. It's done in a painfully awkward way in order to fill the audience in on her past. The conversation is completely unnatural. It's something to the effect of, "Oh, can't believe I got into drama school just for being me. Yeah, you had a great voice like Judy Garland. Oh, till I was expelled. You never did work though, Amy." Amy then proclaims to her nan, "You are my style icon." They could have shown this to the audience subtly. Like, Amy looks at pictures of her nan and buys similar clothes herself. But no, "You're my style icon." Which, by the way, who says that to somebody? I know Amy announced when receiving an award her style icon was her nan, but it's so weird to hear her actually say this to her face. I imagine the reason she actually said it when receiving the award was because she hadn't said it to her in person. After that, we see Amy in her father Mitch's taxi telling him to turn up the jazz on the radio before proclaiming, "How can some people not get this? It's genius." I'm not joking, this is really what happens. Mitch then fills us in on Amy's brother, who's currently in university and fears he may turn to drugs, living the student lifestyle. When Amy arrives home, we learn she and her brother hold resentment towards Mitch for leaving Amy's mother. At home, Amy begins writing a song in a scene that almost puts you to sleep. Next, we see Amy dancing and singing along to some music. At this point, the film becomes an endurance test. Honestly, if I wasn't doing this review, I would have turned it off by now. Only 14 minutes in, but it's safe to assume it's not going to get much better. Amy then performs live, and her boyfriend gets angry when he's told Stronger Than Me was written about him. Like a lot of the scenes in this film, if done well, this could have been really good, but it isn't. It's embarrassing to watch. And to think that the director and actors involved actually thought this was good. Next, Amy gets angry with her management for not releasing her album in the States and telling her to improve her stage act. Amy then gets agitated, and in the first scene of the film I actually like, explains it's hard enough to get on stage and perform without somebody telling her she has no stage presence. The scene's quickly ruined when Amy proclaims, "I need to live my songs." At this point, Amy puts her career aside and goes drinking. It's at this point in the film we meet Blake Fielder Civil as he comes into the pub and states, "A pint of your German lager at the double, governor," before dancing and singing "Hey Big Spender." He then talks to himself, celebrating his win at the bookies and how he's now going to piss it all up the wall. For some reason, Amy finds this charming, instead of thinking what a complete idiot this person is and ignoring him. They have a conversation where Blake continues acting like a moron and Amy is totally won over by him. I really can't believe this is what the filmmakers think charisma and charm look like. At this point, the film is excruciating. Blake walks away from Amy stating, "I'm gonna fleece me mates at pool," and Amy is smitten. This bears no resemblance to the actual Blake Fielder Civil, who in interviews appears quite an understated guy.
That there was genuinely love there, and I loved Amy, very, very much, and she loved me too. And if there was anything that could bring her back, I would, obviously.
I've read a lot about people comparing Blake to Amy's father, in that they were a similar personality, not so far as drug abuse, but they both had a confidence and self-belief Amy was drawn to. It would have been much smarter if the film played Blake and Amy's father quite similar in some respects, so we understand why Amy falls for Blake. In fact, it would have been a really good twist if audiences' introduction to Blake was, wow, he's a lot like Amy's dad. I get it. But no, we're given zero insight or explanation as to why Amy is interested in this over-the-top Cockney stereotype. The two play pool together, and Amy learns Blake knows her and her music. Blake states, "I'm playing pool with Amy Winehouse, listening to Amy Winehouse." A montage of them playing pool together proceeds, with Blake giving Amy a heart-shaped balloon. Blake in this film, by the way, is written as a complete idiot. Amy at one point has to explain what a word means to him. He mispronounces Truman Capote's name as True Moon Capote and seems completely lost at any deep level of conversation. Again, nothing like the real Blake.
She just said, it's nothing. I weren't abused when I was a kid, nothing like that. And she said her dad leaving her mum was what caused this. And her not really seeing her dad. I understood.
I mean, what research did they do into this guy's character? Amy even makes a joke about how stupid he is. The whole relationship is topsy-turvy. We know that Amy likes strong, intelligent, charismatic men, but Blake in this film is nothing like that. He's stupid, clown-like, and void of charm. At this point, you've probably noticed how dark the lighting is too. So dark you'll have to turn up the brightness on your video settings to see anything. What were they thinking with this colour palette? Stop trying to be artsy and shoot the film so we can see everything clearly. In the next scene, we see Amy throwing up in the toilet before Amy's nan tells her she's dying of lung cancer. Amy then heads to the pub and meets Blake. The two kiss and begin a relationship. The next day, Amy catches Blake snorting cocaine and more painful dialogue ensues. As their relationship grows, Blake becomes more moronic each scene. Here's him impersonating a gorilla. After that, Amy gets Blake's name tattooed on her chest while he stands 4 inches away. Amy gets into a fight with Blake over his drug use, and Blake breaks up with Amy, returning to his old girlfriend. Amy then begins drinking heavily. With Blake and Amy apart, Amy fashions her hair into a 1960s beehive do. Amy begins recording Back to Black, and the press begin to hound her. Lonely and depressed, she begins using crack. Meanwhile, Blake's in the pub with some idiot, and some incredibly awful dialogue ensues. Blake's friend encourages him to get back to Amy for financial reasons. Again, this all on paper could have been a good scene, but the way it's carried out is dreadful. Then after one text message, we see Amy running through the streets back to Blake. They soon marry, with no mention of Amy's other relationship with Alex Clare. Montage ensues with Amy performing live, running away from the press, and fighting with Blake. Blake is then arrested for assault on a pub landlord. When Amy visits him in prison, Blake states he wants a divorce. In the following months, Amy drinks more, becomes more depressed, and wins 4 Grammys. The film skips forward a few years, and Amy, who has now quit drugs, is battling alcoholism. The film ends with her singing the words to Tears Dry on Their Own. So this film was terrible, not even factually correct. Avoid it at all costs. I predict this film will not age well. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. If you wish to donate, it would be greatly appreciated, as this is my main source of income. Just click the three symbols next to the video, then the thanks icon, and however much you wish to donate. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for my next video.